Hello there, Eagles fans, and welcome back to our Eagles Therapy Podcast. My name is Basil,
And I'm Baz.
and we are recording Wednesday, September 4th, 2024. Dad, we're here. Tomorrow's football.
It's going to
When,
be back.
when,
Yes.
when people are, I know it's not the Eagles, but when people are watching this episode will come out Thursday. It'll be the day football is back.
Opening day.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
Awesome.
And we basically get two opening days this year because we get the opening day of football and then the opening day of the Eagles season the next day. So it's just great. Very excited, very happy that football's back.
Definitely.
It's crazy how it kind of sneaks up because all off season, you're like, oh, when's football going to be back? But it's so long.
Yes.
And you're just kind of like, well, we'll get there at some point. And then once it gets here, you're like, oh, okay.
Well, here we go.
I thought wasn't the Super Bowl, didn't it just happen?
Well, when you look back, you go, oh, well, it wasn't that long ago, really.
Yeah, it's funny. I
Yeah.
know. It's crazy.
It's awesome.
But here we are. So we're going to be talking about a little bit thoughts to end the preseason and talk about the roster. We wanted to record an episode on the roster earlier this week or last week. My sister was in town, so we were out busy doing stuff and having fun. Hopefully you enjoyed our TikTok that we got to do to post on the YouTube
Yeah,
Shorts.
if you didn't see that, look for it.
It was our last post on the Shorts. First time, or I guess it's our third TikTok, but I don't know. I don't keep count. We're going to talk about the preseason thoughts, talk about the roster, do a little preview of the game coming up on Friday, injuries, other stuff like that, and some fun stuff to end us up. So let's go ahead and plug our Eagles fan club. We are part of the Philadelphia Eagles fan club in Colorado Springs. This year we are going to be meeting at first temporarily at Rhinos. Rhinos Sports and Spirits is what it's called,
Yes.
on Powers and Barnes. We're going to be meeting there Friday night, Monday night, the game after that. We're not too sure when Frankie's will be back and up and running, but we will keep you up to date on that, of course. So shout out to our fan club.
Yes.
Let's get into it, Dad. So final preseason and roster thoughts. I just have a few things to talk about.
Go ahead.
Jack Stoll's.
I'll chime in.
Yeah, there we go. Jack Stoll's back in the practice squad.
Excellent.
That's cool. Happy
Very
to
good.
see. It was something a lot of people were talking about was going to most likely looked like it was a possibility because it seemed like he was going to get cut by the Giants, and then he did.
Right.
So a lot of people were like, oh, maybe.
Great blocker, man.
Oh, yeah, he was great. Great blocker. Bradbury, injury, puts him on IR, opens up a spot for Oren Burks to make the team. So
Yes.
Oren Burke is on the roster, not on the practice squad. He's on the roster, which is pretty cool. Bummer for Bradbury. Obviously, never happy when someone get injured. It really
But
is
it's
unfortunate.
just a weird set of circumstances there where he made, none of us thought he was going to make it. He makes it, and then first day of practice after the squad is made, he gets hurt and he's put on the IR.
Felt like it might have been a little suspicious, but I don't want to get into too
No,
many conspiracy
we don't
theories.
talk conspiracy here.
But Oren Burks is on the team, so that's cool. I
That
think
is
that's
cool.
Another good player to be on the roster with experience. Another special teamer. Just nice to see. And then a bummer one. We're big fans of Marlon Tuipulotu. He did get cut for a spot for Byron Young, another defensive tackle that we got who used to play for the Raiders.
Yes.
Former
Third
round pick.
Yeah.
Former third round pick. So that's cool to see that we got him. So we'll see what he can bring.
But you're always trying to fix your roster up, right? And that's why, in a way, when we talked about having a pod on the roster, I'm like, man, so much is going to change in the next 4 days, and it did.
It's
look
very
at
true.
It. It's crazy.
No, it is absolutely true. All right, let's go ahead and now jump into. Or do you have anything else in the preseason? Sorry, anything else?
Not really.
Preseason
I'm glad
roster?
it's over. I'm glad it's over.
I know what you mean.
You're always so excited to watch this first game, second game. By that third game, I had my fill. I was done.
Yeah, I get
it was
that.
just brutal trying to watch that game.
Definitely.
Just
Definitely.
But I'm glad it's over.
Absolutely. Yep.
And nobody got injured in the
That's true.
preseason.
Yeah,
So
it's great. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the game coming up. So Friday night, the Eagles start off their season against the Green Bay Packers at 6:15 p.m. our time, 8:15 back east. Man, I'm just excited. It's going to be great.
Going to be on Peacock, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a Peacock game. Ooh. Did they check with Rhinos about that?
I got that's it. If not, they would be on maybe NBC feed
No,
too. But
I'm pretty sure it's an exclusive Peacock
I know it
game.
is.
We got to be ready for that one.
I got my login.
Yeah, me too. I know. Or I guess we have the same one. Whoops, sorry.
Yeah.
So they're paying 6:15 our time. Dad, let's talk about Brazil. So they're going to Brazil. There's been a lot of talks about there's some fires down there. They think the game might be postponed, might be canceled, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, I had not heard anything as of yet. That was kind of more earlier in the week. And,
it was.
I saw some live footage of the place today. They were showing the stadium. I didn't see any smoke in the air. So apparently something went right. So that's good. It is an open air stadium.
Yep.
It's kind of got a big square or rectangle cut out the top, similar to the old Cowboy Stadium that used to be able to, it was open at the top.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
I don't
So
care.
it's kind of you're
Don't care about
indoor,
that.
but you're also outdoor. So it's not like you're an indoor stadium.
Yeah.
So yeah, and the weather is going to be kind of weather we're used to. It's going to be low 60s and then pretty humid there. It's very humid there. So, but we should be ready. We've been practicing in Philly all summer, and
Oh yeah.
it's been brutal temperatures there and high humidity the last few weeks. So I don't know how it is right now, but it was bad during the summer.
Yeah.
So they should be good. Same, no real advantage for either team.
True.
10 to 15 mile an hour winds. No rain forecast, at least from what I saw. So
Gotcha.
hopefully it's just a beautiful, crisp day. And I know they were talking about the field today. I heard a few pods talking about the field. It's very similar to some of the fields we've had out here with the fake kind of grass stuff,
Turf
the
grass,
cinch grass. So
yeah.
and it's in great condition. It's a fairly new stadium, so it should play well. So
good. Yeah. Next thing I was going to talk about with Brazil, of course, there's been a lot of talks going on about the crime rate in that area they're going to be in Sao Paulo. So AJ Brown was talking about he's not going to be leaving his room and everything like that. There's kind of been a lot of players saying that about, hey, let's, just got to be careful down there. The whole green thing became kind of a little bit of a myth. They were saying
it's not real.
They were saying, it's a
can't wear green.
It's a gang thing. No, that's not it. The team that plays there, their rivals wear green, so it's supposed to be you don't wear green in the stadium, but it's not like it's.
And I heard them
football
talking about it too.
Or it's not football, but our football.
Feetball.
Yeah. But yeah, excited to see what the weather's what the field's gonna look like. It's just gonna be really great, good energy and everything like that. Long trip for them. Of course, they left today. They should.
I think it was about 10 o'clock they land, and it's 4 hours ahead of us, maybe 3 hours. So it's similar, really close to them landing, because it's an hour ahead of back east.
Yeah.
So that's 2 hours. So 3 hours. So what time is it now? Is it 7 yet?
Yeah, 7:16.
So they might have just landed. So
okay, interesting. Yeah. So yeah, they're there, or they're almost there. It's just cool to think about. Our boys are on the way, leaving behind some guys, which we'll talk about in a second.
Right. And the tough thing about that 10-hour flight, I know
difficult.
that would be brutal for me. And for those big guys, that's got to be, their legs and their, they got to walk around that plane a little bit, keep loose.
I know they're on a much bigger plane than they usually are. I don't know the size, of course, but they got a lot of leg room. They got a lot of room to walk around and do things and keep active and stuff like that.
That's good.
Hopefully,
I think I've read. They're also heard that they're trying not to have them sleep.
Yeah.
So they can kind of get ready
day.
and
it's gonna be difficult.
Kind of but 10-hour flight. I mean, what are you going to do? Those guys, they're pretty busy. Those guys. So they get a few minutes to crash. They're going to crash. So.
Definitely. Let's get into our key matchups. So my key matchup for this game to watch is going to be our defensive line against the Packers' offensive line, specifically Bryce Huff and Josh Sweat versus their right tackle Zach Tom and their left tackle Rasheed Walker. Both of these guys are experienced guys in the league, each of them about 2 to 3 years in the league. A lot of starts, no Pro Bowls, no All-Pros, but they've been consistent starters. They have a pretty good experience. They played at good colleges. I can't remember. One of them was from Penn State. I don't remember the other one. But they've played a lot in their NFL career, so they have some good experience there. So I think it's going to be a big thing that we beat them on the outsides. That's just
so you're talking their two tackles.
Yeah, our defensive ends against their tackles.
So I got something there for I got Jalen Carter, just one of the guys. Jalen Carter against Jordan Morgan.
Yeah, rookie.
U of A rookie, played left tackle for U of A.
Mm-hmm.
They moved him to right guard.
Yeah,
and he has not played in the preseason. So there's a little bit of question about is he going to be ready because he was injured. He had a little shoulder thing going on. Ooh. So I don't know if he's starting, but that's one of the matchups that I'm looking for if he does actually get plugged into play.
That's funny because I saw an article that asked about, will the Packers rotate right guard against the Eagles?
Okay, well, that's why.
I knew they had a rookie, but I didn't know he hadn't played there.
Yeah, he hadn't played in the preseason. Because he was dinged up, and I think they just said, let's let him sit. But,
heal up, yeah.
Whoa.
Okay.
Go ahead. Keep going.
No, that's all I had.
So I also have, that was just a last-minute thing there.
Okay.
Because I knew you were going to do O-line. I have a Becton. Of course, he's our starting guard. He's going against Kenny Clark, third Pro Bowl in a row, 7.5 sacks last year.
Good player.
But the big change was the Packers changed to a 4-3 this year.
Okay.
Not going to make a big difference to a guy like him, but he might be lining over Becton now as opposed to
outside
over the center,
tackle
or wherever he was before. Yeah,
if he was a nose or if he was a tackle.
And Becton, we know about him. He's the biggest guard in the NFL right now. So.
Of all time, I think.
Very possible.
Yeah.
I just know he's the biggest existing
Definitely.
player right now. And I'm sure Stout's been working with him. He's been the starter. Yeah. He's been predicted to be the starting lineman for the last 4 weeks at least. So he's been getting first string reps. Obviously didn't play much in the preseason if not. So, but that's the world of preseason anymore. You don't play these guys, so it's not like an advantage or disadvantage. But anyway, I'll be looking for that. But of course, that's always NFL, right?
Yeah.
You're looking to see how we run the ball early. We're looking to see how we stop their run because they have the Josh Jacobs back there.
Yes.
So
yeah,
that's my 2 key matchups.
I'm with you. Let's get into some injuries if you don't have anything else on the game. Which we're definitely
I've got some more stuff.
Super looking forward to. Let's get into injuries. So with the Eagles, we had 4 guys listed on our injury report. Important to note, this is not the final injury report going into the game. I believe it should be tomorrow or because of the time difference, I don't really know.
Right, yeah. Is it 2 days before or 1 day before? Yeah.
Usually it's 2 days.
It's usually the Friday afternoon,
usually when the game's on a Sunday, it's on Friday.
So it's 2 days. So
should be out today, but I don't think this was the official final injury report. But Eagles, they rested A.J. Brown for rest, Landon Dickerson out for rest, limited participants. Isaiah Rodgers, hand, and then Devin White for his ankle. He is out. He did not make the flight, as you mentioned before, or downstairs. He's not going to Brazil. And then there's all this talk that you said about they want to trade him.
The rumor mill started.
Big rumors about wanting to
trade him before. And it just popped up today.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny because when I went on there this morning, I was looking around and I saw that information. I'm like, what are they talking about? What do you mean? Like, I didn't hear any of that. Of course, we don't hear the rumors as much out here that local newspapers would have there in Philly. But, it's just odd that not only did he lose his starting position to Dean, but now they were going to trade him. Like, when did this pop up? So
it's unbelievable.
But anyway, so he's out. So I don't know if maybe that was a psych to the Packers. They were preparing for this guy, and all of a sudden we're changing over here. So,
maybe.
But yeah, Dean's going to be the starter along with Bond. So now
you're losing a key blitzer. Devin White is an incredible sack guy. Gets on a blitz. And N'Kobe was good in college, and we don't know. Bond has been a edge rusher before, so there's still some skill there. But you're losing a guy who can really get to the quarterback.
But I really think this is kind of Trotter must have shown enough to be a substitute, or maybe
even Oren Burks. I mean, even Oren Burks might have shown enough.
And then we also have they were talking earlier about we have a guy on the practice squad who's a Penn State linebacker, Brandon Smith.
Yes.
So, and he's played before. He was drafted by the Panthers in 2022, was on our practice squad like mid-season last year. So, I mean, he's been around. So at least if they bring him up just in case to have that 5th linebacker, it's very possible.
It all depends because we don't even know who they've elevated yet, and they're already in Brazil possibly.
Exactly.
So, did they bring everyone? Like,
right?
They don't bring the practice squad every time.
That's
trips,
true. I mean, I'm sure you have to have who you're going to bring up.
Yeah.
Because you can bring up elevate 4 or 5 guys, right?
No, 2.
Just 2.
2. 1 offensive lineman and 1 something else.
Okay.
The thing is, we're not going to be bringing up a linebacker. We have to bring up a tight end.
Yeah.
Because we know this one, it's either going to be Jack Stoll or E.J. Jenkins elevated.
Right.
And then another offensive lineman. I assume Nick Gates, maybe another offensive. Because one has to be an offensive lineman. Unless they change that rule and I'm missing something.
Right, okay.
But one has to be an offensive lineman, and it can only be 2.
Okay.
So you could see maybe Brett Toth. I don't know, but
so then you'd have to know who was on the plate.
Which, I mean, if you brought Oren Burks, because he brought Oren Burks on the roster, so you brought 5 guys already with Dean, Van Sumeren, Trotter, Burks, and Vaughn. So you have 5, but still, it's just weird. It's a weird little situation that kind of just came out of nowhere.
It was almost like a panic button thing. Like, what? What do you mean he's not going to play?
Very confusing.
And it's funny because there's been so much talk about him. He's not as good as he used to be, and blah, blah, all these other teams, piling on him. But, I think in the preseason we saw a little bit of him, and he looked decent.
I thought so too. I thought he looked pretty good.
Of course, I'm not watching practices every day, so
no, of course not.
That's impossible. But Dean, as we know now, it's been 2 or 3 weeks of just solid play. So he got the start, and who knows what's going to happen with White now? They don't really know. So
let's go into the Packers injury report. Edgerrin Cooper. Rest on a hip. These guys have not specified as what they're playing or not. I assume they're all going to be playing, but we don't know. Romeo Dobbs for his hand. Tucker Kraft, the tight end, for his back. Marshawn Lloyd, running back, hamstring. Carrington Valentine, hamstring. And Emmanuel Wilson, hip. So they'll be going in with Josh Jacobs and 2 other running backs.
Yeah, I was telling you earlier that the 2 other running backs were listed at least with little issues. So if Josh Jacobs is to get dinged up or something, who are they going to bring in? You got the two running backs you mentioned, one with the hip and one with the hand, I think. But
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. But that's kind of an odd thing too, and that's why that week one is you got your roster all built, and then you got the little quirks at the end, and
Someone
oh
gets
my
hurt.
gosh,
Yeah.
panic time. So
Yeah. Let's go into some fun stuff that I want to talk about. You have anything else to say about the game?
not really.
Do you have a prediction?
I'm going to be pretty nervous. I can
just
tell you
kidding,
that
no.
right now.
I know.
I'm not a prediction guy,
Yeah, I
but
don't
I'll know more in the first half.
Yeah,
I'm
don't
looking to score some points.
Yeah.
I think we're going to put up some points, maybe 28 or 31.
We're not big on predictions here. We don't really
Yeah.
care for doing it. I'm not into it either. Yeah, I could see us putting up some good points, but it's hard because it's like I talked about it with my buddy Tevin from work today, who's unfortunately a Cowboys fan. Just wanted to mention that.
Right.
I was talking about on paper. Like of course there's always a difference between on paper and on the field.
Right.
On paper, you look at our team. It's if injuries and health was never a problem, we'd win the Super Bowl. We had a roster built to do that.
You got a great roster.
We have a top 3 running back in the league. Our quarterback's debatable top 10, top 5, whatever you want to have debate. He's top 10. You got 2 wide receivers. One of them's top 3, maybe top 5. The other one's top 10, maybe top 15.
Right.
Then you go on the defensive side, Slay, Carter, Jordan Davis. On paper,
got the big
I always say on paper,
right.
But on the field, we don't know about this defense. I mean, we know a little bit about the offense, but we don't know what it's going to look like with Saquon. We don't know what this defense is going to look like this year. 2 brand new coordinators. It's hard to make predictions because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't see.
You just hope that they're built for the long run because
absolutely,
you're looking at a team in the Packers who had better success than they expected last year.
Yeah,
maybe they're coming in a little bit too high, thinking they're better than they are. And we're coming in, hopefully, hungry and mad.
Oh, yeah.
Because, they're going to be talking about the team last year for the next 10 years of, famous whatevers. You know what I'm talking about. So, hopefully, they're coming in with a chip on their shoulder and, just take it to them in the first quarter, first half, and just say, hey, we're back, guys. You know.
One last thing I wanted to mention about the roster as I jump into another category. I forgot to say, because I learned this just before I came on camera. Jack Driscoll's back on the team as well. We got him back on the practice squad, which is cool.
That's awesome.
Got cut by Miami. That was a big thing. People were talking about maybe him coming back as well. I saw a lot of posts and stuff about him coming back or him, possibly. Oh, that's a good guy to get, because he's had experience with us. And if if you lose a guard, he's played he's played right guard with us before.
And he started.
He played a lot of right tackle in his
sure
career
did.
with us. He had to. So I think it's a good person to bring back for a little bit of time.
I agree with you there.
Number changes. I love numbers. If you're watching at home, I care about numbers a lot. Jahan Dotson going to be wearing number 83. Not the best number ever. Oops. I'm just kidding now. Pretty good number, but we'll talk about that in a second. Jack Stoll going to be wearing number 87. He was number 89 with us before.
Okay.
For his whole career with us. Coming back as 87, and this is on the practice squad, so he might change when he comes to 89.
Right.
I don't know, but 89 is Johnny Wilson, so he's going to be wearing number 87, which is interesting because that's Selleck.
Right.
For me, Brent Selleck's number.
For sure.
Will Shipley moving to number 28. He was listed as 39 before. Good move. 39 is a gross number.
I know you didn't like that
28 is a great running back number. That's Adrian Peterson right there. Also, Colby back in high school was number 28 when he was a running back. And then Quinyon Mitchell to number 27. Great change as well. 30 is not a bad number for a corner.
Yeah.
I prefer it on a running back, but 27 is a great defensive back number. That was Zach McPherson's before, so he took that. That was good old Malcolm Jenkins. Oops, I spoiled that the next game was going to be. I was going to ask you. I was going to go number by number and ask you who the best in our history was. So 83, who's the best Eagle to wear number 83? No, 82 was quick.
I'm sorry. Papali?
Papali can't be the best 83, right?
No. I don't think so. I'd say Harold Jackson, maybe. You know me, I'm not a numbers guy, but
I know.
I can try.
I didn't have it prepared either.
That's
Let
okay.
me see.
That's okay.
Harold Jackson. Was he number 83?
I'm not sure.
Your Wi-Fi's been cutting out, so I'm a little worried.
Oh, no.
Well, Harold Jackson, he didn't play for the Eagles, did he?
Yeah.
Oh. I recognize the number. He was number 29. Let me see. Yeah, just list Jahan Dotson right now. Hold on.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, but
here, let me go to the next number. So the easy one, 87.
Selleck.
Yeah, it's
right.
Selleck.
Yeah.
89.
Chris Carter. I'm not sure. Fred Barnett? No, what was that guy's name?
I was going. My mind went
Wide
to
receiver. We had a wide receiver. Calvin Williams, maybe.
Mine went to the tight end. Let's see. On the Eagles, Chris Carter. What number did he wear?
Looks like he's 80.
I thought he was number 80 on the Eagles as well.
Yeah.
I thought so. Man, we didn't prepare for this one at all. I'm so sorry.
No, it's all right.
Let me see. 83. Eagles were number 83. So Papali is kind of the number one you see on there.
Got ahead of it.
Jeff Thomason was a tight end.
Another tight end, yeah.
He's pretty good at one point. Man, Mike Young, Tony Woodruff. Not a good number.
Yeah.
Not a good number for
I
Eagles.
agree with
Shelton Gibson.
Yeah.
And that's got John Dotson. Don Holtz. It'd be Don Holtz.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd have to be
Old
him.
school.
Bobby Walston, too, would be another one. Let's see.
You know me in numbers.
Yeah, I know. Number 28. Best Eagle to wear number 28.
I don't know. You tell me. 28.
I don't know. Let's see.
There's some what shirt's that right
Because Shady wore
Bill Bradley?
Bill Bradley.
Great.
Yeah.
Mr.
Bill
Interception.
Bradley. What about number 27? That's easy. I already said his name. It's got to be Malcolm Jenkins. I mean,
Definitely.
Is there another one?
No.
I don't even know.
So.
No, it's got to be Malcolm Jenkins.
He was great for
I
us.
should have prepared for that one a little better, but
It's
I
all
thought
right. He was
I
great
thought
for
I thought you'd be better at the numbers a little bit. So
I'm terrible at numbers.
I know. What was the number we were last on? Number 89. Was that the one we were stuck
89,
on?
yes.
Eagle to wear.
That's Calvin Williams, right? Definitely wide receiver.
Yeah, it'd be that type of number. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and jump over into some fantasy stuff.
Okay.
I wanted to talk about my fantasy teams. Now, I know you're not big into fantasy, but
Right.
I am, and some people are who watch. So,
Oh, definitely.
and a lot of my fantasy guys are probably watching. I don't know. So let's go into it. I have 2 fantasy football teams I'm in this year, one on ESPN, one on Sleeper. I'll go through the ESPN team first. Quarterback, I got Kyler Murray. We're doing a PPR league, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 2 flex, no kicker on this one.
Interesting.
I got Kyler Murray at quarterback, Josh Jacobs at running back, and I'll have this posted. Chuba Hubbard, my running back, A.J. Brown, wide receiver, Chris Olave, wide receiver 2. Trey McBride is my tight end, which I'm excited for.
Nice.
Brandon Ayuk, wide receiver 3, flex number 1. Zay Flowers at my flex 2, and then the Falcons defense. That one was a little controversial when I picked it because there were still some good defenses out there. The Chiefs were still out there. The Dolphins
There's
were.
been a lot of talk about the Falcons D, though.
But I was kind of excited for the Falcons defense because they just got Matthew Judon.
Right.
They've got those 2 great safeties. They got that great cornerback out on the right side. They've got a pretty good quarterback on the other side.
Right.
They don't have a bunch of linebackers and everything, but they've got some good defensive all around backfield and everything. So I'm excited for that.
I've heard others talking about them.
Yeah. On my bench, I've got wide receiver Jackson Smith and Jigba, Tyjae Spears, the rookie running back for Tennessee,
Oh, wow.
Chase Brown, Sidney Brown's twin brother,
Really?
out of Cincinnati, Gabe Davis down in Jacksonville.
I know him.
Jawan Johnson's my other tight end. I got Tyler Boyd, and my backup quarterback is Geno Smith. I'll have that all posted on here so you can see it.
Nice.
I wonder if Johnny's watching because he's a big fantasy
Yeah,
guy too.
yeah.
On my other one for Sleeper, we're doing a 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 2 flex, and still a kicker. So it's kind of a
Nice.
longer
I like
league.
the kicker because that's you win or lose on a Monday night with the kicker getting 3 points.
I know. That's why my other team,
I do like that.
My other fan league got rid of it because Colby hated it. He's a commissioner. He hated kickers.
Lost too many.
On this one, I got Josh Allen as my quarterback, Aaron Jones as my running back, Devin Singletary, second running back. Running backs went
Where's
quick.
Jones at this year?
He's on Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. My running backs are not very good. Singletary is my second one. It's pretty brutal, but he is most likely, he's going to be sharing a lot of snaps with James Cook. I got A.J. Brown again, so I got him twice.
Wow.
Garrett Wilson, I got George Kittle as the tight end over there. I got Brandon Ayuk again. I got Brandon Ayuk on 2 leagues.
Wow.
T. Higgins, I got Jake Elliott, and I got the Dolphins defense on this one.
Oh, wow.
In the backup, I have Joe Burrow as my backup quarterback. This was a mistake when I draft. Not a mistake. He's a great guy to have, of course, but still he's my backup.
Right.
When I was drafting, I thought I was on my Q page, but I was on the players page where it ranks players in order.
Right.
I thought I was on my Q page. I was going to be taking Tony Pollard, but I was on the players and I accidentally drafted Joe Burrow.
Right.
And then I drafted my other guy, and I'm like, well, why is Tony Pollard's name still showing? Like, I just drafted him.
Oh,
And then I drafted
realized.
Burrow, and I'm like, oh. I got Benson, the running back from Arizona, Gus Edwards, running back from the Chargers, Xavier Worthy, Kansas City wide receiver, Romeo Dobbs, wide receiver out of Green Bay, and
Yes.
my backup tight end is Cole Kmet, the tight end for Chicago. So
Gotcha.
good teams all around. I'm pretty happy with them.
Nice.
The last 2 times I've played fantasy, I've gone to the championship the last 2 years. I won my first year. I lost in the championship last year, so I'm looking to
right.
avenge and get some of my money back because it was $50 a league, and I
Ooh.
got a kid coming. Oh my gosh, have I not announced that?
I don't believe you have.
I don't think I've said it on the podcast. I've got my wife and I are expecting. Got a baby coming up due October 7th. We just had our baby shower this last week. If you're watching and you sent me a gift, thank you very much for anything you sent me, anything you gave me. Really appreciate it.
Definitely.
And if you're watching right now, I really appreciate your support and everything like that because we are very excited to be welcoming our little baby girl, Rosalie, into the world. I don't think I mentioned it on here.
No, we were talking
kinda
about
held
it,
it for
but
a
then
while.
the summer kind of comes, and then
Yeah.
we didn't really had some short pods there. So yeah, we haven't had a chance to announce it, but yeah, great baby shower last weekend. It was awesome. A lot of fun. Good time.
Very exhausting weekend. I had the baby shower Saturday. I had one of the drafts in Denver Sunday.
Right.
And then came back that night at 10:30. I left.
Right.
And then Monday, it was my day off. It was a
Right.
holiday. It was Labor Day, but I didn't observe Labor Day. I
was a-
worked
It was a cleaning day.
because we were putting the gifts away and moving the gifts here, and I was doing. I didn't have any day to do laundry, so I was doing
Right.
laundry all day, and
Busy
and
weekend.
just the dogs were crazy.
Getting ready for
just
the
all
football
that.
season.
Definitely.
Well, it's easy to do laundry when you're home, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So if you're not at the bar watching the game,
True. Yep.
which this weekend we won't be, just Friday night, so that's good.
I know. I'm very happy. It's
And the following
cool.
week's a Monday night, so
I know. I don't like primetime games, but I'm kind of excited to be able to have the full weekends.
right.
Yeah.
That is nice.
Other thing I'm excited to announce, my company partnered with the Denver Broncos as the
Yes.
official banking partner. I work at a bank. I'm sure you guys have heard. I've said
Right.
it before. I won tickets. I won tickets to go to the box to sit in the suite.
the Broncos
For the
opener.
first Broncos
Yeah.
home game against the Steelers, which will be cool because Russell Wilson will be returning.
Definitely.
I obviously don't support either of these teams or anything
Right.
like that, but I don't have strong feelings
But
against
an
either of
NFL
them.
game's an NFL
That's
game.
the thing, and
And you're not going to miss.
it's not exactly the Eagles play Monday night
Right.
next week, so Sunday
gonna-
I can go to Denver. I'm taking
exactly.
my mom. My dad's going to be out of town,
Yeah.
so he can't go unfortunately. But
Nope.
taking my mom,
It's a bummer.
we're gonna have a good time. Hopefully, have some hot dogs and some free food up in our suite.
Yes.
It's gonna be really exciting. I'm very
that's
pumped.
awesome.
I thankfully our company gave us shirts that have Bronco labels on them because I'm like, okay, good.
Now you got a Bronco shirt.
Then
to
I
wear.
can wear that and at least
Yes.
support or pretend
That's
to
right.
be,
You
so,
got to.
very cool. Let's get into some other sports before we take off. I got nothing on the Sixers. Of course, we're still in the middle of the off season there, so not much going on there. Or not the middle of the off season. We're actually a month away.
Yeah, it'll come up pretty soon.
Because last year the season started when we were in Philly in October. So yeah,
mid to late October.
we're only 6 weeks away from that, maybe.
That's crazy.
The Phillies, they won 3 out of 4 against the Braves. They won game 1 against the Blue Jays tonight. Highlighted of the Braves series, Schwarber had a three home runs the other night. Or no, I'm sorry. They won the first 2 games against Toronto. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Today was the second game against Toronto. So Schwarber had 3 home runs the other night
Yep.
against Toronto,
Yesterday.
and then they had one. He had one today.
Oh, did he?
So 4 home runs in the last 2
Wow.
games. Before
So
that,
they
it
took
had been
3
a
or
while.
4 from the Braves, right?
3 or 4
And
from the
then
Braves. Yep.
2 games.
2 games so far
the
against
Jays.
Toronto, and we should have them again tomorrow. I think
Not
it's just.
sure what's
I
tomorrow.
think it's just. No, it's just a
Thursday.
2-game
yeah,
series.
It's changed. Thursday you always go.
Yeah. So we're going to Marlins after that.
You might have a day off tomorrow and then Florida Friday.
No, we got
Saturday, Sunday.
3 straight games against the Marlins starting tomorrow. Yeah.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
What about Sunday? They got to play Sunday too.
Got the Marlins on Sunday,
So it's a 4-game
4-game
set.
series.
So that's
Yeah.
good.
and then we're back to the Raves on Tampa Bay Rays on Monday.
Man, that's
And it's a
hard.
quick little travel. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, this one's in Philly. The Marlins one is in Miami,
Right.
but we are also in Toronto right now. But Toronto to Miami.
Right.
That's a
that's
rough one. All right, let's go to the Union. They defeated the New York Red Bulls 2-0. I don't know who their next game is against, as I'm trying to pull it up here,
Right.
frantically installing so that I don't look too much like an idiot.
But they've
Looks
been,
like they're
they've been
off.
hot.
Looks like they're off this week. They're not playing on the 7th. They come back to play on the 14th against Inter Miami.
Nice.
I'll have to watch that one, see if
Yeah.
Messi's playing. That'll
I
be
don't
fun.
know. He hasn't been around much.
I know he hasn't. It's kind of
Kind of knew
unfortunate,
that was going
but
to happen.
That's
I
kind of
did.
what
I did.
we thought we were getting into. But I got nothing on Flyers. You got anything else to say, Dad, before we say goodbye?
Not really. No, just can't wait.
Okay.
I cannot wait. We're ready.
All right, I'm going to ask you a few predictions things
Okay.
now that I caught you off guard.
All right.
Quinyon Mitchell, how many interceptions do you think he has this year?
I'm going to say 5.
I was thinking the exact same
I'm
thing.
hoping for 5.
I know the easy answer for me was 3,
Right.
but he's going to be playing a lot of snaps, barring injury.
Right.
I think he's going to bring home a lot of picks because he's going to be playing inside. He's going to be starting outside. When they're in nickel patches,
And
he's
they're
going to
gonna slide
be
him down.
inside. So he's going to be,
On
he's
the
going to
field.
be in the field a
Yeah.
lot, and he's going to be on the inside a lot, which is where a lot of those
Hopefully
picks
we
happen.
get some pressure on the quarterback and get them throwing that ball off their back foot.
Absolutely.
That's the hope.
Sacks for Nolan Smith.
Nolan Smith, man, last year I pulled for him all year. Let's hope. Let's get 7.5.
Unfortunately, I'm going to go 4 here.
Yeah, I'm hoping he gets
I
some
was
early.
hoping
I
he'd
really
get-
like to see him get some early.
I know. Me too.
That's my hope that
Yeah.
they're so worried about Huff and Sweat and some of the other guys that he's able to sneak in on some of these blitzes.
Next thing, I was going to ask sacks for Bryce Huff.
Bryce Huff, let's give him 9.
I'm going 11.
Okay, nice.
I think Sweat has 9 or 10.
I hope so.
I'm going Huff 11.
Okay.
Carter, I think Carter is going to lead our team in sacks.
Wow.
I
Okay.
don't know how many, 12, 13.
Wow, that would
Hopefully
be
40,
amazing.
but I think he's going to lead the team in sacks.
Wow.
Next thing I had was playing time. So percentage. Give me a percentage. Jeremiah Trotter on the field. Percent, not including special teams.
Let's say 40%.
Okay.
I know that's high.
I was thinking like 32.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
Probably less.
We'll see, but I'm hoping to see him on the field a lot this year.
Yeah.
Just in certain packages and things like that. Maybe first down when they're running and they're not throwing the ball well or something, so they can bring 3 backs in and blitz 1 or something.
Yeah.
That's the hope. But I really like to see him play.
Yeah.
I know he needs some development, but
I know.
he looked pretty good in some of the stuff I've seen so
Definitely.
far. So, but
Age-
now it's for real, so it changes everything.
Devontae Smith touchdowns.
Devontae, let's go 10.
Woo! I like that.
Yeah,
I'm going 8. Last year, do you have 7?
I think it was up. Yeah, that was up there.
I
I know he barely got over 1,000, maybe 1,090 or something like that.
No, he almost had 1,200 last year.
Did he really?
Yeah. Let's see.
I thought I saw something the other day about that.
No, you're right. He had 1,066.
Yeah.
So 2022, he had 1,196.
Okay.
And he had 7 touchdowns each of the last 2
Okay.
seasons.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go 8.
Let's
I think he
break
goes
that
up
thing.
a little bit,
Yeah.
but I still think AJ is
The main
going
touchdown.
to be the main
grabber.
touchdown guy.
Right.
Saquon Barkley, how many touchdowns?
8.
I think so too. I think he's going to get, like, say, first and goal. If it's first and goal on the 3 and in,
Yeah,
I think he gets it first.
I hope so.
Now, if it's second and goal, or if it's third and goal on the 1, it's
The
push.
yeah.
But I think Saquon's going to be the new first down and first and goal on the 1. It's him.
I mean, the push, I'm kind of hoping we don't have to go to it as often this year. I'd rather see when it's 3rd and 3,
Yeah.
just Barkley just get that first down.
I mean, I've always been the biggest.
Because we don't need the wear and tear on the QB.
Yeah.
We need to save him.
I've always been the biggest supporter of the push before it became the push.
Right.
I used to always say, why don't we run it with Wentz more?
Right.
I mean, Wentz was 6'5",
Right.
245, 50
Right,
pounds.
yeah.
Like it was like
He was
why were
strong.
we not running the push with him?
Right.
And not even the push, the QB sneak.
Yeah.
I was like, why are we not running with him all the time?
Yeah.
And then when I drafted, I'll never forget this. 2 years ago, the year I won the championship in fantasy, I drafted Russell Wilson. He was horrible. It was awful.
Right.
And early in the season, the first game, they were on the 1 yard line, the 2 yard line a couple different times. And I was like, okay, here we go. First and goal, just QB sneak it. Nope, hand it off, fumble. Okay, first and goal, QB sneak it. Handed it off, fumble. And I was just like, I
That's
don't understand.
true.
And that was even before we became the tush push team. I was like,
Right. Right.
why aren't you QB sneaking?
But see, that's
it? Like,
also getting the quarterback under the center, not having him in
Yes.
shotgun, which is another
yeah.
thing that drives me nuts. But the push, I mean, it was so successful, but then you started with the rules and all that junk and guys on the other team off sides by 5 yards and not
Yeah, they don't
calling
call it.
it.
It's kind of funny.
It just
It
got
is funny.
weird. It got weird.
It's funny watching their head be right above the ball, and it's like, it's weird. They're not.
He's over the ball.
Sides.
He's touching somebody.
I don't.
Hopefully they call that a little bit more this year.
weird.
But they're whatever about it. But
Yeah.
just get the touchdown.
Yeah. You got anything else?
Not really. I do have one question for you. How many rushing touchdowns do you think Hurts going to get? Because last year he got a pretty good chunk.
I'd still say 13.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. That means we're
Yeah.
scoring.
Yeah, that's true. I think his passing touchdowns will go up,
Let's hope. Let's
I
just
think
keep
his-
those INTs
but
down.
I think his rushing touchdowns will stay steady. They'll go down a bit, but they'll stay steady.
Yeah. Well, if we need Devontae to get 10 touchdowns, he's going to have to throw for about 35 or 38 or something like that,
true.
which I'd love.
Because Goddard also is a guy who does not have touchdowns in his career.
No, 4
not
here.
at all.
I know.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And in the preseason, in the practices, they talk about, he's the red zone goal line guy. Well, let's do it. I don't know.
I know.
All right, let's say our goodbyes. You can follow us on Facebook or Instagram. If you like our Eagles Therapy podcast, do us a favor, rate and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Please comment down below some of your predictions. What do you think is going to happen this game coming up? We got a lot of football coming up. I'd love to hear any thoughts on any game, really. We're just excited to be back into the football time of year.
Yeah, there seemed like we had a lot of I'm going to be going to the games at Rhinos on our Facebook page.
So
it sounds promising. I'm going to be getting there earlier than most, so I can get me a nice front table. But I should be there. I know you got to work that night, so
it'll be rough. But we hope to see you there.
I'll be getting you a spot.
You can email us your questions at oureaglestherapy@gmail.com. But other than that, from all of us here at Our Eagles Therapy Podcast, I'm Basil.
And I'm Baz.
Go Birds.
Fly, Eagles, fly.